G'day everybody, welcome to TikTok Thursdays. This is a new thing we're doing where Thursday chooses a funny TikTok video. It may not be funny, maybe wholesome, maybe something else, and we're going to respond to it together. So, what I can see the fella, I haven't watched the video obviously, he looks like Mark Barnes.
He does look vaguely like Mark Barnes. This is King Trout on Instagram. I think he's also on TikTok. This video is about people who get excited about quote-unquote land development.
Oh my gosh, did you hear the good news about this place? They're going to tear all this stupid crap down and put up an IKEA, a Home Goods, and like 2 new Asian fusion restaurants. Isn't that awesome?
Me fantasizing about an America where we all live in self-sustain.
Like you. What was that? I said, yay, corporate consumerism. Can't wait till our whole country's a parking lot full of cheap Chinese shit.
Yeah, I can see why you, politically savvy and politically minded as you are, would like this.
I just think I think it's good to make fun of like how ridiculous everything is getting.
Yeah.
And I think his stuff is good for that.
Well, I tell you, my wife and I just went down to Florida recently, and even though the roads were nice, the people were nicer, like even just superficially nicer, there was no one in pajamas at any grocery store we went to. All of those things I appreciated.
You were not in the panhandle.
But it just, but there's something about like the Control-C, Control-V everywhere, right? Just the same generic businesses, just copy and pasted throughout. Just
we were talking about that with Jacob
suburbia.
Hyman a couple months ago, weren't we?
Yeah.
The geography of nowhere.
Yeah, it feels like that.
Yeah.
Whereas here, rundown roads, but you know the people and you know the towns and you know the, not the towns, you know the shops.
There's something beautiful about like the fallen, living in the shadow of the husk of the American steel machine.
Ooh, that's a great line. Have you used that before?
Yeah, I don't think I've used it on the show before.
Do you use that on every first interaction you have with a woman at Leo's?
Yeah. That's why I'm single. No. No, I just, that's how I describe when people are like, why you love Steubenville? Like when people, because I think Steubenville is beautiful. And when people ask, like, look around and go,
I mean, it's beautiful in a way that a man who's about to die from aggressive cancer is beautiful. It's ugly, but it's vulnerable.
Yeah, and also there's something in me as a young man whose family has been in the country since before it was a country, who looks around and says like, "Oh, my forefathers did this, and we could do it again." Yeah, right. Like
I like it.
That power
There's the
runs in my
energy of
veins.
Youth that I no longer have.
Yeah, like it energizes me to know that the same men who made this, and then it was collapsed could do it again. You know, that energizes me.
Amen. Hear me out, because I'm going to use a really bad, weird analogy. Just like we have a lot of transitioners right now, who are like, that was a terrible mistake. I think we're also going to see you're like, where is this going? We're also going to see.
I could get it.
And you do? All right, you're so good. This is why you never need me to finish a sentence. Like, yeah, shut up. I'm already going. We're going to find, and I think we already are finding people who transition to rural life, and then they're like, I'm just going to go back. It was actually better there. Yeah.
No, there's people leaving. Like, we're seeing it on a societal level. We transitioned to like mass urbanism and consumerism, and we're seeing a slow degradation of it.
But I'm saying the opposite. I'm saying the negative aspect, that people want rural, they want land, they want a homestead, and then they're like, I mean, objectively speaking, this is more real and more beautiful, but I'm actually going to come back.
I think that'll happen, but I think like on a societal level, we'll see a move away from like consumeristic centralization over the next couple decades.
And why? Do you think it's because people are getting disgusted by it overall?
It's inherently dissatisfying, and there is something to be said for, I mean, Peterson talks about this. I mean, the church talks about it in her encyclicals. One of my favorite books, Dune, talks about this. The fact that like
nice variety there. Jordan Peterson, the church, Dune.
The culture, like a culture needs an inheritance. It needs a cultural inheritance, something that makes it
what it is,
it itself.
Yep.
And when you take that away and universalize it over a vast area, it's inherently dissatisfying. And that's why empires collapse, because they try to universalize things outside the church, right? And the church is the only true universalizing force. And I think we're getting to a point where America's empiric state is dissatisfying and will collapse.
Well, there you go. You've heard it from Thursday. Let us know in the comments section below. Have you moved rural or like homestead type situation and then have moved back? Or are you currently in a hellscape suburbia and want to go out, and why? Thanks so much for watching. If you have a funny or wholesome TikTok video that you would like us to review, leave it below in the comments section. And before you go, do us a favor, click like and that subscribe button.